No, ma'am.
Okay. So you are in which class?
11th.
11. So you have just entered 11, right? So in today's class, what we are going to do, we are going to learn some few things or maybe have a recap of few things, and then we will have a trial test, okay? Like a diagnostic test. So half hour we will do some topics, and next half hour I will share you a I will show you basically. I will share my screen and show you a question paper, and there you have to solve the questions, and then we will discuss it, okay?
Okay.
So tell me what you have learned in chemistry till then. Do you like chemistry?
It's okay.
Okay. So what you have learned till 10th?
In 10th or in 11th starting?
Okay. Till 10th, like what are the things in chemistry that you already know? Tell
Like,
me a few things that you know.
I remember like the first chapter of mostly of chemistry in 10th grade, like the different reactions and
So what it was? Mm-hmm.
there was decomposition reaction, redox reaction, displacement, double displacement. There was one more. It was with C. No, wait. Combination reaction. Wait.
Combination
It was
was
whitewashing of walls, something.
it was I guess
There
what
was
you were trying to say when combination reaction basically when two molecules just join and make a third molecule.
yes. Ma'am.
That's it. Okay. And what are the other things you have learned?
Then I remember there was organic chemistry in 10th, the last chapter, carbon compounds.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a few things like ethanol and unsaturated, saturated.
Right.
Not much because
What?
then got over. Could you repeat that? Your voice had gone.
Okay. What is saturated and what is unsaturated?
Good question. I remember
You see,
Vanaspati ghee was unsaturated, and that was good for your health. Not good for your health. Not good. Vanaspati.
that's correct. How many bonds? How many bonds can carbon make?
4.
Four
Four,
bonds.
four,
Correct. Why carbon can make four bonds? What is the atomic what is atomic number? First tell me.
12.
What is atomic number?
Atomic. Wait. Uh, atomic. What is it?
Don't panic. It's fine. It's fine.
I remember only the atomic number. What the definition is, I don't
You
remember.
say 12, right?
Yeah, it's 12. U.
12U is the atomic dash of carbon. 12U is not atomic number. What is 12U? 12U is something.
Atomic mass.
Yes.
Okay.
12U is atomic mass of carbon. Fine. So what is the atomic number of carbon?
6.
Hmm?
Is it 6?
It is 6.
Okay.
So atomic number of carbon is 6. Fine. Now what is atomic number? Why the atomic number of carbon is 6? And if I say the atomic number of hydrogen is 1 or atomic number of helium is 2, why?
Because in the periodic table, the number go like that. So carbon comes in the sixth place in the periodic table.
Comes in the sixth place, that is because carbon's atomic number is 6. That's not the reason, that is the result. Okay. What are the particles we have in an atom?
Electron, proton, neutron.
Okay. Let's assume that to be a circle. Okay. So what is this and what is this? This is orbit. We have seen this structure, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is nucleus. So what you have said, electron,
Electron, proton, and neutron.
proton, and neutron. So let's say I am drawing a carbon atom. So how many electrons I will draw?
Two in the first shell.
Right. Let me draw first shell because that I have drawn nucleus. Two in the first shell,
And
then
then four in the outer shell.
four in the
Outer
outer
shell.
shell. Right. And these are electrons, so we have to add negative charges. Right. And in the nucleus, we will have protons and we will have neutrons. So how many protons carbon will have?
Equal the number of electrons. So 6.
6. Exactly. 6 will be the number of protons. And the number of neutron of carbon is also 6. Okay. Now, one thing is, these electrons, have you heard about ionization potential, electron enthalpy, these things?
No.
So, what we can do, we have electrons in this orbit, no? So, what we can do, if we give some amount of energy, or or we withdraw some amount of energy, we can. These electrons are movable. We have heard about ionic bonds. When one electron goes from one orbit of an atom to another orbit of an atom. So we have heard of atomic bonds, ionic bonds. Sorry. So electrons number of electrons in an atom that we can vary to some level. Like there will be charges then. If we remove one electron, then there will be a positive charge because in that case one proton will be extra. Because proton is positively charged and electron is negatively charged, and usually in stable state the number of electron and the number of proton is same. That's why an atom is neutral. But when we remove one electron from the orbit or we incorporate one electron in the orbit, what happens that the number of proton and the number of electron doesn't remain same anymore. So in that case the atom attains some charge and we call it ion, right?
Yes.
Atom with some amount of charge, and it can be positively charged and it can be negatively charged, right? So when
Yes.
an ion is positively charged, we call it cation. And when an atom is negatively charged, we call it anion. Fine. So what we have seen that the number of electrons in an atom that can vary. But the number of protons, that is fixed because proton is in the nucleus and it is very tough to excite a proton and take it out from the nucleus. because there it is in the nucleus, it is like these are bind in with higher energy, very high energy. So the number of proton in an atom is fixed. So to define an atom, we use the number of protons. See, usually the number of electrons and the number of proton is same. So we could have used the number of electrons also. But as I have shown you already that the number of electrons is not fixed. We can vary it. That's why we don't use the number of electrons. But the number of proton is fixed in an atom. That's why to define the properties or to define an atom, we take the number of proton and this atom's number. And this atomic number is nothing but number of proton in an atom. Okay. Now you remember it, na?
Yes,
So we
ma'am.
denote it NP, N suffix P. And number of neutron. So we denote NP as number of proton. Number of protons and N suffix N as number of neutron. Now this thing is atomic number. So the atomic number of hydrogen is 1. That means that hydrogen has only one proton in its nucleus, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what is atomic mass?
2? No. 1. Okay.
Atomic mass
1.
is number of proton plus number of neutron. As we have already seen that in carbon, you have told me yourself that the atomic mass of carbon is 12. And we have seen that in carbon, the number of proton is 6 and the number of neutron is 6. That makes the total 12. That's why the atomic mass of carbon is 12. So atomic mass is number of proton plus number of neutron, or we can say number of particles, electrons, protons, neutrons, these are particles, okay? Number of particles in the nucleus, right? Because in the nucleus we have proton and neutron only, okay? Okay. So this is atomic mass. Now, have you heard of isotope, isobar? Have you heard of this? Have you heard the name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so do you remember anything?
I think isotope is same atomic mass, but different. No? Okay.
No, no, you are going right. You are going right. What you are saying is that is isobar. Okay, complete the definition. Same atomic mass.
But different. Molecular mass
No, no, no. There is
is
no
different.
nothing. For a molecular mass, we need molecules. We don't have molecules here. We have atoms. Okay. So you were saying that same atomic mass. So what are the two properties we have seen? We have seen atomic number and we have seen atomic mass, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So for isobar, we have same atomic mass, different. If the atomic mass is same, then what has to be different? Atomic number has to be different because these are the only two properties we have. Different atomic number, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And isotope, then what will be isotope?
Same atomic number, different atomic mass.
Correct. Isotope is same atomic number of only. Fine. Okay. Now coming back to where we were. So what is the atomic number of carbon? Atomic number of carbon is 6.
Six.
And as you have told me, the orientation of this will be, let's say this is our nucleus. I'm not writing the protons, drawing the protons and neutrons now. So this is our nucleus. The first shell we have 2 electrons, and the second shell we have 4 electrons. And you have told me that carbon can make 4 bonds. So from this drawing of atom, can you explain me why carbon can make 4 bonds?
Because it's more than 3 but less than 5, so it can either share or accept the electrons from another.
Electrons it has to have
8.
8 electrons. So the remains to get stable, atom has to have 8 electrons in the outermost shell or orbital. So carbon has 4 electrons already. Now it can make ionic bonds. So to make ionic bond, what it has to do? That it has to take 4 electrons from the outside. But that is gonna be very energetically, that is gonna be very unstable. Because if we incorporate 4 electrons, this is gonna be a very unstable structure. Because it is gonna be energetically very high. What is going to do? It is going to share electrons.
Good evening, ma'am. I
And
actually joined
that
late.
way,
I'm very sorry.
okay. Um, so what we have done, uh, can you have a look what we have done already and tell me if you have any doubt? Do you know what is atomic number, what is atomic mass, these things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay.
Sure.
So, do you know about these things? Atomic number, atomic mass, and these?
Then atomic number is basically we just count the protons present, and the atomic
Mhm.
mass means we count the protons as well as the neutrons.
Okay. Okay. So fine. So that is basically what we are discussing as of now. Number of protons and number of the addition of number of protons and number of neutrons are atomic mass, and number of proton is atomic number. And then we talked about isotope and isobar. Isotope are atoms where who have like those atoms which have same atomic number but different atomic mass, and isobar are same atomic
Yes,
mass
sir.
and different atomic number. Okay. So now we're discussing that about carbon. So we know that carbon can make four bonds. So why carbon can make four bonds? Carbon, what it does, it share electrons because the simple reason is it has to have 8 electrons in the outermost shell. For that reason, it already has 4 electrons and somehow it has to have 4 more electrons. So it can make bonds in two ways, one in ionic way and another is covalent way. But in ionic way, if we incorporate 4 more electrons in the outermost shell of the carbon, it becomes energetically a very unstable structure. That's why what carbon prefers to do, carbon prefers to share one electron with other atoms. Okay, in this way, upon sharing electron, let's say we have some atom here. This is some other atom, and they are sharing that electron. This way, carbon makes 4 bonds. Fine. So, so this is fine as of now that carbon can make 4 bonds. Now, where we started the discussion with some organic compounds and classification of organic compounds, which is saturated organic compounds and unsaturated organic compounds. So, one thing we have known that carbon can make 4 bonds. Now, can you tell me that what is saturated bond and what is unsaturated bond? Anyone?
Saturated bond means a single bond, and unsaturated means double bond as well as triple bond.
As well as triple bond. Okay. So, for example, that carbon can make 4 bonds. So, if all the 4 bonds it makes, those are with different atoms. Let's say carbon has made the 4 bonds with 4 hydrogen. So, all the bonds will be single bonds. Or it is possible that carbon is making 4 bonds with 4 other carbons. Now, these carbons are also having valency that will eventually get filled by something. So, when carbon is making only single bonds, that is saturated. Fine. Saturated. Saturated and unsaturated compound is when there is double bond or more. So, in this case, let's say we have 2 carbons and each of the carbons can make 4 bonds. So, they are making 2 bonds between themselves and 2 bonds with some other atom. So, the 4 bonds is satisfied, 2 bonds with 2 carbons and 2 other single bonds. The total 4 bonds is satisfied. Similarly, it can make triple bond and then another bond with some other atom. So these are unsaturated compounds. And as we can see that there can be 2 types of unsaturated compounds. This, where there is double bond, we will call it alkene, and where there is triple bond, we will
Alkyne.
call it alkyne. Alkyne, fine. And this one we will call alkane.
Alkane.
So if there is a single bond, it is alkene, double bond alkene, triple bond alkyne. Okay. Okay. So today's discussion part is till this. Now what we are going to do, I am going to share a question paper with you, and I will give you some time, let's say 20 minutes or half hour, and there will be 5 questions, and you two have to solve it. Okay, in the class. Okay. So give me 1 second. Let me share. So both of you can see the 5 questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I am giving you time, let's say 20 to 25 minutes. Try solving it. Now, question number 5th. See, question number 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just answer me. Question number 5th, what you have to do? You have to do it in your copy. You can, however you want. I prefer that is you make some drawing and click the photo and send it to the chat box. Okay. Okay, solving it. There is a slight mistake. Let me correct that. This will be off. Thickness of length in. Okay. So time starts now. And if you face any difficulty to understand the question, not to solve the question, like you don't understand the question, in that case, ask me. Okay. Hi, one second, one second. You don't have to actually do it now. I just got the information. I guess we need to continue with whatever we were doing. This test will be take place 1-to-1. Okay. You understand what is
Ma'am, can you repeat?
test?
I didn't understand.
I'm saying that let us continue with the subjects today. I was informed by the team that this test will be taken one by one for both of you, okay? In 1-to-1 class.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Let's continue with what we were doing. So then we had what we have had as of now as in time and as time. Now this is for single bond. This is for double bond. And this is for triple bond. Okay. Now we are gradually seeing that how we name the organic compounds. So if there is a single bond, we will add a suffix called N. If there is a double bond, we will add a suffix called D. And if there is a triple bond, we will suffix called I. Okay. Now, number of carbons. Number. So these are going to be suffix. And we are coming to prefix. Number of carbons. So let's say we have number of carbon is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do till now. So what is the number of what will be the prefix if the number of carbon is 1? Tell me.
Methane.
Hmm?
Methane.
Not methane. The prefix will be meth.
Oh, yeah,
It
methane.
will meth.
Sorry.
Now, yeah. Now, not you, Fatima. Now, can Neha tell me what will be the prefix? What then if the number of carbon is 2?
Uh, ethane. So
It's right. Now, for 3, Fatima, tell me.
It will be prop.
Prop. 4, Neha.
Bute.
Good. Okay, good. Then for 5 we have pen.
And
For 6 we have hex. Okay. So let's deal with up to 6 as of now. So if the number of carbon is 1, the prefix will be added as meth, 2 as it, 3 as prop, 4 as bute, 5 as pen, 6 as hex. And the suffixes are in, I. Now, from here we can actually conclude in our structure methane. This is all single bond. Okay, let's first set the number of carbon. So here, number of carbon is 1 and all single bond. So, number of carbon is 1. Because of that, going to be added as meth. and all single bond. So the suffix will be added in. That is why this CH4 is known as ethane. Okay. So do you understand the source of the nomenclature, right?
Yes.
Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now I will draw three compounds. One, I will tell you the name, and the other two. Okay, let me draw the compounds. So the first compound, okay, the first compound I will tell, second compound Neha will tell me, and the third compound Fathima will tell me, okay? Okay. So the first compound, here we have two carbons. So for two carbons, the prefix will be it and all single bond. So the suffix will be ane. So we will name it ethane. Now Neha, tell me what will be the name for the second compound?
Ethene.
Ethene. Tell me the spelling.
ETH plus ENE, so ethene.
Ethene. The third one, Fatima.
Ma'am, the number of carbons is 2 and the number of hydrogens is 2 and it has a triple bond, so it will be propyne.
For propyne, we have to have number of carbon to be 3. Here, how? What is the number of carbon we have?
Okay, sorry, ethyne.
Fine. So we have number of carbon of 2. So it will be 8 and triple
YN.
bond. So it will be ion. So it will be fine. Correct. Now let me give you some more compounds. Try naming these compounds, and once you are done, let me know. I will ask one by one.
Ma'am, can you explain the seventh one?
Which
Ma'am,
one
I
you were
guess
telling?
you have a seventh one.
The seventh one. The others you have done?
Yes, ma'am.
And what about you? Both of
Not
you are done?
really.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So first, Fatima, tell me the fourth one.
It is propane.
Is propane. Okay. Neha, fifth one.
Propene.
Prop.
Propene. ENE.
Prop. Okay. Sixth one, Fatima.
Butane.
Okay. Okay. Did you do the seventh one? Neha?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So tell me what it is.
Butene.
Butene. And what about the eighth one?
The same.
Ma'am, it
Butene.
is the same butane.
It is butene. Now here comes the next point. Both of these are butene. But the purpose of this nomenclature was that we can differentiate two different compounds. And clearly, the compound 7th and compound 8, these are not same. Here we have the double bond here in the middle, and here we have the double bond in the corner. To solve this problem, what we did, we numbered CH3, let's draw the structure, CH3, CH, CH, CH3, and the another one is CH3, CH2, CH, CH2. What we did, we numbered the carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, we numbered it here too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in this one, this is the seventh one, this is the eighth one. In the seventh one, the double bond is between 2 and 3. And in the eighth one, the double bond is between 1 and 2. Correct? Now, how we
Yes,
name it? So, in the seventh one, the double bond is between 2 and 3. So, we take the minimum number. So, what is the lower number between 2 and 3? It's 2. So, we take the 2 and then we call it butane. So, this is butane. Both are butane. But with the number here, find the position of the double bond. Okay. So, when I'm writing 2, it means that the double bond is between 2 and 3. So, what is the name for this one? If it's 2-butene, what will be the name for this one?
2 butene only because 2 is greater than 1.
No, we have to take the lower number. See,
so
here
one
we had
butane.
2 and 3. Double bond was 2 and 3. When the double bond was 1 and 3, we took 2. Here the double bond is between 1 and 2. So we will say 1. 1 equal. So similarly now if I ask you for a higher compound, let's say if we have the number of carbon 7, prefix we have is let's do with 6. If we have 6, we call it hex. Now if I give you two structures, These are the 6 structures. Now, did you understand what I have just said with butane? This thing. These 2 examples are clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, based upon that, cycle name is 5.
Done, ma'am.
So, both of you are done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The first name. What should be the name of the first one?
1-hexene,
1-hexene. Second one.
2-hexene.
2-hexene, exactly.
again
Third one.
2-hexene,
Third one is 2-hexene.
oh no, it's 3-hexene.
Hexene.
I wrote wrong actually.
Fourth one.
2-hexene.
Fourth one is
2-hexene.
2-hexene. And the fifth one?
1-hexene.
1-hexene. So why these are not 4-hexene and 5-hexene? Why these are 2-hexene and 1-hexene?
Because we take from the least one.
We take from that side where the bond comes in the least number, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess this was all about today's class. Do you have any doubt? Anything we have covered today? No doubt, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So next class onward, we will follow the class 11 syllabus and we will start with the chapter Basic Concepts of Chemistry. Okay.
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 This is like an overview, and in the next class onwards, we will start with that chapter. So tell me one thing, you have heard about Avogadro number?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Try to brush up that concept once, because we are going to deal with that a lot in our next class. Okay? The concept of mole and the concept of Avogadro number.